Sermon 165 of Nahjul Balagah was given early in the Caliphate of Ali. He reminded us that Al-Quran has guidance to distinguish between good and evil. We're supposed to be careful about what is obliged upon us and to avoid what is forbidden to us. The forbidden things have flaws to them, and the lawful things are known. Now, rather than being prejudicial, those who show the signs of at least being on the right path, if not being a believer with all the actions, are treated in high regards to those who are not. And so let us not disturb anybody unless there's an obligation somehow to. I mean, sometimes there's a reminder, this isn't right, or this would be better, or whatever. But, in general, you just don't disturb people. And for those who are on the right path, what's going to come is better than what already was. And don't fear the mere beasts. Don't fear the mere creation. Regard God in these matters. And when you see something right, learn from that. And when you see something bad, learn from that too. You know what I mean? Learn that this isn't the way, and for the previous, you learn that that's the way. Saying 332 reminds us that those in authority are supposed to be guarding for the sake of God. Saying 333 reminds us to put on a good expression, to have empathy, to have fear of what authority can do. But to be determined. Saying 334 reminds us that if you know your life is ending, you tend to realize that the mere desires weren't important. And one of the things that happens when people get old is some of those desires go down. And that's why certain behaviors, as little as a sixth of those that would engage in those things before they're 30, after they're 70, they're not engaging in those things anymore. And sometimes it's not per se the strength of desires, that some things are new. It's like some people make a lot of mistakes when they're teenagers because they're trying to find their own limits rather than taking the good advice. And, they're not excused in that sense, but, when they get older and their desires are even stronger, sometimes they're already well behaved. Sometimes, consequences have to get them to the point where, but another thing that people will not like as they get older is, of course, the illusion and delusion that they've been put upon. And one of those is, of course, is that, oh, you're young, you can. It's like, no, you term your old age and your youth are periods where people particularly prey on a person. Nowadays, the people who are elderly remember the pre-Civil Rights Act thing, and they're trying to make everybody feel like it's worse than before the Civil Rights Act, which doesn't make any sense. Statistics and policies kind of show the opposite for that group, if anything. But they don't want people to remember how it was the past 50 years, and they're trying to put this stuff on, and people become more vulnerable to programming and stuff too when they get old. Just like if they pick up vice, it's more likely to damage them, whether it's disease or injury from drinking or whatever. It's and we're firm. It's okay to be stubborn about what's right, but we should be humble enough to move with the command of our Lord, our God, our ultimate King, as the chapter says. We should avoid asking for what we don't need. We should make ourselves busy. We should be thoughtful. We shouldn't want mere fame.